So with Donna Adelson, we know that Donna is up here about to get sentenced. She was sentenced, and it's not looking good for her when it comes to how much time she's going to serve. Now, during this proceedings, I want you guys to listen to a lot that's said. We're going to specifically hear from Harvey, and we're going to hear from Donna herself. This sentencing really, it didn't show what a good sentencing should be. All right, Donna's up here trying to defend herself and say the court got it wrong. Harvey's saying the same thing. And then the honorable judge in this case just gets sick of it at some point. During the sentencing, you're really here to say and talk about the character of the person that is being sentenced, not tell the court how bad of a job they did and how they messed up. So we're going to hear from Donna and Harvey here, and then from the honorable judge. Y'all let me know what you think about this. Here we go.
Posit right into it. One for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir.
Harvey's going
Do you
first.
swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your head. You may speak.
Embarrassing.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything so that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mine. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit.
Harvey.
I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently you can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits. They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren. Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury were influenced by years of one-sided news pieces.
Oh, no. Yo, man, this is the equivalent of going someplace and ordering food. And then the person that's going to be preparing your food, you're rude to them. You're mean to them. You're telling them, hey, I don't care what anybody says. You're the worst server that I've ever seen in my life. That's just how I feel. I don't care what you think. I don't want you to be here. And I've heard what people have said about you, and I think it's disgusting. And then you expect that person to serve you a good meal. I don't know what in the world Harvey is doing here by calling the judge biased. How is Judge Everett supposed to take that? It's like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't think he should be offended by it because the law is the law. It's one thing to offend the juries, but the person who is literally going to be sentencing your wife, you're calling him biased? Weird, man.
And social media.
Doctor, Ms. Fulford.
Oh, he stopped him.
This has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I just one moment, please?
Yo. They're going to edit his. This is hilarious. Judge Everett said, nah, buddy, we ain't doing that. You're not going to come up in here and this has nothing to do with Donna's character. The whole point of this is for you to talk about how great Donna is, how wonderful she is, how I should be lenient because Donna, she's just a granny and she's going to die probably in the next near future anyway, because she's just old, right? But Harvey instead is feeling like he needs to, he needs to pop off, and it's embarrassing, man. He should know better. Come on, dude. These people are just shown. They just think they're better than everybody else. I mean, it would have been better for them to show and have some accountability. It's embarrassing, man.
Just 1 second, please.
And it's clear that these attorneys had already worked with him on what he was going to say. So Harvey may have said, man, you know what? I don't care what y'all say. I'm going to say what I need to say. They also could have said, yeah, Harvey, go ahead and say that. Get it on the record. It's a good idea. Either way, this isn't a great look.
All right, thank you for letting me continue. Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what? This is not justice.
Jeez.
It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
You have
Yeah,
an
sit your
examination
ass.
for Dr. Adelson.
No, Your Honor.
Sit down, Harvey.
Any other witness statements that you wish to give?
I don't believe so. Just 1 second.
Embarrassing. All right, now we're actually going to hear from Donna coming up. Let's skip
Judge,
that.
but Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if she wishes to speak.
Judge, the case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to sentencing. The court, Rule 3.720B,
Stand on it,
states the
Judge
court
Everett.
shall entertain submissions and evidence by the parties that are relevant to the sentence. A number of cases, Your Honor, that have interpreted this, especially in a capital case, as the defendant having a right to make an unsworn statement. This is a capital.
Please give the citations.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me.
I wonder why
First
they wouldn't
is
sworn.
Smith versus State, 268 Southern 3rd, 831. It's from the first DCA in 2019. You want me to continue, Your Honor?
Give me 1 moment.
Yes, sir.
Bringing up my
This
left
is
law.
crazy.
Give the citation again.
Sure. It's 268 Southern 3rd, 831.
Which pinpoint site are you referring to in the case?
It's not, let's see.
Get it together, guys. Does it even matter that much?
So, Your Honor, I'm going to give you this one. So, Hill versus State, 246 Southern 3rd, 392. It's from the 4th District Court of Appeal.
1 moment.
Yes, sir.
246 over the 3rd, what's the last part?
392.
In the case where it does state the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement, we will proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, they got what they wanted.
Would you like Mrs.
Congratulations.
Adelson at the lectern or here?
She can remain at council table.
Thank you. I'm going to move the microphone. And then speak loudly because this was not amplified. Just
Okay. Is this loud enough, Judge?
I can hear you.
Thank you for letting me speak. My son-in-law, Dan Markell, was a fine and decent man. He was well educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law, but
Okay.
more importantly, he was a caring and loving father. On July 18th, 2014, his car was followed, leaving his home. It should have been just like any other day, an ordinary day in the life of Ben and Lincoln's father, but it wasn't. He didn't know when he left his boys off at daycare that would be the last time he would see them, and the last time they would see him.
Okay.
He didn't know when he went to the gym afterwards that would be the last time he would exercise. And he didn't know when he drove home that his life would end within minutes. Danny wasn't just being followed, he was being hunted. He was brutally murdered in broad daylight, sitting in his car, in his garage, by vicious killers. I cannot imagine the terror he felt when he saw a gun pointed at him through the window of his car. I cannot conceive of his heroic efforts to stay alive during the hours after the attack. Danny died in the early morning hours of July 19th. His death is a loss to his children, his parents, his sister.
Man, get out of here, Donna. What this got to do with you? We don't care. We know how you felt about Dan. We know how you felt about Dan. You wanted to dress your kids up in Mustache Man's uniforms to piss him off. You said he needed to disappear. You wanted to take the children from him. You wanted to put them in front of a church and get them baptized. I mean, not only that, but you were found guilty, lady. This is not why we're here. We don't want to hear about you and Dan Markell and what you thought of Dan. Trust me, we know. So talk about how sweet you are. How you're just a poor granny who got caught up in something that she had no intention of getting caught up in. We want to hear that. Not really. We know what you thought about Dan, Donna. Good Lord.
All of us in his family,
With
his
fake
friends,
tears. She's not even
his
crying.
colleagues in the legal community, and to
Trash.
his students at FSU Law School. Danny's boys each have a photo of themselves with their Abba, their dad, beside their beds. They grew up kissing the framed photo and saying, "Good night, Abba, I love you."
And you took that away from them, Donna. You had a part in it, according to the jury, according to what the jury found. So what are we doing here? She's trying her case again.
The pictures and memories are all they have because cruel, cold-hearted people
Thanks to you.
took him from all of us who loved him. My heart was broken when Danny died. My grandsons were going to grow up without the father who loved them. I wondered, how could we help these boys through this trauma? It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children an abundance of love, the love that Danny would have given them if he were alive. It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder.
Oh, here we go.
In both of Catherine Magbanaw's trials, the state claimed she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial, they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that this grandma, was the mastermind behind the murder.
Your trial's over, lady.
I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to take place.
Yo, she just said she's right where she needs to be because the people who did this, it's you, Donna. It's literally you. The jury found you guilty. You're talking about yourself. What it appears to be happening is that Donna, she didn't say anything during the trial. She didn't testify, and now she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm about to pop off. Y'all gonna hear how I feel about this." So now she's saying everything she would have wanted to say during the trial. It's too late for that, lady. You're guilty. This has nothing to do with your sentencing. Saying you got the wrong person. It's too late for that.
If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of actual evidence, the state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed. Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case.
Now, this is a fair point if we were at trial, which we're not. But I do have to give Donna credit for this. This is something I mentioned on this channel during the trial, something I mentioned after the verdict came out. It's interesting to see that all the evidence that they have on Donna is post the bump. Everything before that, they pretty much had nothing. They pretty much had nothing. So it was interesting to see, although that really implicated her in a lot of what happened to Dan Markel. She makes a great point there, but it doesn't matter, Donna. You're guilty.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue,
That
Mrs.
revealed-
Adelson, as it relates to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Adelson an opportunity to hear it.
He said, yo, you trying to argue this again? You want to represent yourself in the next trial? You want to do this again and represent yourself? Because that's not what we're doing here. Shout out to Judge Everett, man. It is no time for this BS. I love this guy.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Please proceed if you desire to do so.
You are guilty, Donna. You have been found guilty. Act like
Where
it.
is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act?
She's doubling
Where
down.
is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state needed to show that there was evidence before the murder to convict me. The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett on the stand for hours. Their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder. The state's
We don't
theory
care.
that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push that story, that lie of the so-called money drop to the jury through the remainder of the trial. And the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Reasonable
Jeez.
doubt. Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news, television news, and podcast publicity about my family.
That's
He
true.
explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the researched and designated areas in the state of Florida other than Tallahassee.
And from what I understand, the defense did argue this, and there was a whole situation about it. And Judge Everett's like, okay, well, what do y'all want to do? You want to try and find the jury? They said, okay, let's just try and find the jury. They found the jury and they said, never mind, we'll stay here. It's crazy.
All I wanted was a level playing field, but the court wanted the trial here in the hotbed of Tallahassee. I sat through 3 days of jury selection. 180 potential jurors were asked if they had developed an opinion in my case. Those that answered yes
It's not a court
also
of appeals,
added,
Donna.
I believe she is guilty.
Jeez.
Not one person, not one, said, I think she may be innocent. That should have been a clue to the court to grant our motion for a change of venue.
She said, Judge Everett, get a clue, man. Hey, you should have known better, Judge Everett. How dare you? What kind of judge are you? This lady's crazy.
But the court denied the motion. One of my jurors
Letter to
admitted
HR.
during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about.
Wow.
Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
Another juror.
Mrs. Fulford,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Zellman,
Shut it down, Judge
again,
Everett.
this has nothing to do with elocution of any sort. This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given to the appellate court.
It's not the Court of
What
Appeals.
does any of this have to do with sentencing?
Could I have just one moment, please?
Look at Judge Everett. He's like, man, if you don't... Yo, Judge, shout out to Judge Everett. You see his face? He mumbling to himself like, man, get this dude. Oh, I gotta get Judge Everett on the channel. Oh, man. I have to interview this man. I know this dude is hilarious. Shout out to Judge Everett.
Turn that phone off or step out.
How dare Donna take the opportunity she was given to show remorse, to take accountability. I mean, maybe they're hoping and holding out for an appeal, but dang, this isn't how you do it, man. Good Lord.
When the phone is off.
Terrible, man.
Please.
What happened to Danny is unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence.
Donna, get out of here.
Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would
Get
have
outta
been
here,
appalled
lady.
at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial. He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it. There are two crimes here. The first was Danny being viciously murdered. The second one is taking my life, the life of an innocent woman. Convicting me should not be retribution for Danny's death. That is not justice for Dan. I've always respected the law. I've never gotten a parking ticket, but I'm going to prison for a murder I did not commit. I do intend to file an appeal so that hopefully I have the opportunity to be given a fair trial outside of Tallahassee. 11 years ago, Danny was murdered and taken from all of us who loved him. For the past 9.5 years, the state has broadcast to the world, including Danny's parents and sister, that I hired hitmen to kill him. Never in a million years would I have wanted Danny to be harmed or killed, nor could I ever do something that would leave these two small boys to grow up without him.
Bro, what?
Stop the cap.
We saw the evidence. That's exactly what you wanted, Donna. You paid. Oh my God. This woman offered to pay him $1 million to go away. Hey, listen, I know you're not going to see the kids that much, but here's $1 million. Just you stay where you are. Let the kids come up here and just figure it out. I'll give you $1 million to disappear. That's literally what this woman said. It's not speculation. It's not hearsay. These words came out of her own mouth. Embarrassing.
I love these boys more than life itself. This is a lifetime of loss for these children. They didn't deserve this. His family didn't deserve this. Danny didn't deserve this. And so, as I appear before you today, Your Honor, I promise you with my whole heart, I swear to you on my life, I was not involved in any way with Danny's murder. I was not.
Defense have any further argument to make?
Yes, Judge.
Goodness gracious. This was bad. I can't. That was embarrassing. Let's go ahead and get into this lady's sentencing. Get her up out of here.
Review.
Goodness gracious.
This is presented by the defense concerning the downward departure. Also as well, the argument that has been presented, the court has reviewed its notes of the trial and will rule on the issue of downward departure at this point. Florida Supreme Court has a two-part test concerning whether a downward departure should be granted or could be granted by the trial court. The first is whether the trial court can impose a downward departure sentence based on a valid legal ground proven by a preponderance of the evidence.
Nah, lock
The
her
second
up.
step is whether the trial court decides whether it should impose the downward departure based on the totality of the circumstances. As to both the non-statutory grounds that have been argued and the grounds contained within section 921.0026, subsection 2, subsection B, in reviewing the trial court's notes, what has been argued by both the defense and also as well the court's relying on the record itself, court will find that there is a ground for non-statutory downward departure, but it declines to exercise its discretion. As the statutory ground, I will
He's gonna
find
give her
that
the whole
both
book.
the defendant was an accomplice to the offense and a relative
that's
minor
funny.
participant in the criminal conduct. We'll find that has not been proven, but in addition to, the court would still decline to exercise its discretion. As to the sentence in this matter, Ms. Adelson, please rise.
Get her up out of there, Judge Everett. Yo, that's crazy. This lady
Level
thinks she's
of
better than
planning
the
and
judge.
coordination to bring the murder of Professor Markell to fruition was significant in this case. These were not crimes of chance or opportunity, and these crimes also required you to conspire with your son and others.
Talk to
You
him.
certainly can choose to deny your involvement and maintain innocence. The court finds the evidence in this case is clear. You will be
Overwhelming.
sentenced accordingly this afternoon. The jury has found you guilty on charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and the court previously adjudicated you guilty as to these same charges on September 4th of this year. On count 1 of the indictment for first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole or release pursuant to Section 782.04 and 775.082 sub 1 sub A Florida statutes. On count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to 30 years in the Department of Corrections that will run consecutive to count 1. The court will also sentence you to 30 years in the Department of Corrections on count 3. Counts 2 and 3 are to run concurrent with each other, but consecutive to count 1.
Got life plus 30.
As to the fees and costs, the clerk can please announce those at this time.
Oh man, is that life plus 30?
Is a fine pursuant to section 775.083, $105 as the 5% surcharge required by section 938.04. $20 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.06, Crimes Family Trust Fund. $3 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.01, subsection 1, Criminal Justice Trust Fund. $50 pursuant to section 938.03, Crimes Compensation Trust Fund. $225 pursuant to section 938.05, Local Government Criminal Justice Trust Fund. $2 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.15, County Criminal Justice Education. $50 as a court cost pursuant to section 775.083, subsection 2, County Crime Prevention. $65 as a court cost pursuant to section 939.185, County Additional Court Costs.
Oh, I think that might be it. Hey, shout out to Donna. She ain't never getting out. She got life plus 30. Can you imagine this granny getting life plus 30? That's the screenshot right there. What do y'all think about this? Did the judge get it right? Did the jury get it right? Doesn't matter at this point, unless the appellate court sees it differently. And what do y'all think about Donna Adelson's, I don't know what you call it, testimony, I guess? She had to pop off on that one. This is embarrassing for the Adelson family all the way around. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the